It's that time of year. It's almost leaf peeping season. So obviously we're not ready yet because it's still green out. But now is the best time of the year to start preparing for fall foliage season. So coming up pretty soon, we're going to have shorter days, cooler evenings, sweatshirts by the fire pit, pumpkin spice, everything. So what better time to prepare for your fall foliage photos? So let's go take a few tips, and I'll give you a few resources at the end of this video in order to capture the best fall foliage videos, fall foliage photos that you can possibly capture. So come along. So while we wait for the leaves to start changing, I want to give you a few tips to make sure that you can take the best fall foliage photos that you possibly can. The first tip is going to be a polarizer. The circular polarizer that screws onto the end of your camera lens is a great start, because when you use a polarizer, it does a couple of things for you right out of the box. The first thing is it naturally increases your vibrance and saturation a little bit, bringing out some of the colors. It also reduces glare and any kind of sheen that you would get onto the leaves during that time. So by reducing that sheen and bringing up some of your vibrance and saturation, you really get a lot of crisp color out of your photos at that point. So make sure to get yourself, at the very least, a circular polarizer that screws onto the end of your camera. If you have one of the square polarizers for a square filter kit, that's great too. Any kind of polarizer will work in this situation, so make sure to get one of those to get started. So the next tip is going to be about contrasting colors. Just because we're taking fall foliage photos, we're going to have a sea of orange, red, and yellow available to us. You want to find something to contrast against that. Some either darker colors or cooler colors in order to help gain some interest in your scene. You don't want it to just be all orange, all red, all yellow, because that way that takes away the interest from your scene. Having something that contrasts is really good. You could use the bluebird sky, you can use the rocks, you can use the water from anything, any flowing streams or anything that are going there. A great thing that I've done a lot in the past is I take pictures of leaves on a rock or on a log or somewhere in a stream, so that way I can show the color of the leaves against something that's a little bit darker, a little bit cooler, so that way the leaves stand out and allows the brightness of the leaves to draw you in. The third tip I want to share with you is kind of a simple one, and it's kind of something that we already do when we're looking at our scenes, but it's probably one of the more important ones, is look around. Look around for different things that you can see within the scene. Look for different lines, different colors, different objects within your scene to help gain that interest. Another thing with looking around is look down. Look down at your feet. Make sure that you're not tromping all over some really good or cool looking leaves or really good, cool looking scenery. So looking down is very helpful, because at least that way you can change your perspective, find new objects, find new subjects within your scene, and use the foliage to help bring them out. So tip number 4 is going to be about backlighting. A lot of times in the fall, you get a lot of times where you're going to have that nice big bluebird sky. So when you have the sun out in a very bright fashion, you can use the sun to actually give you some backlighting against your leaves. Because the leaves are starting to lose that green and lose that sheen with your polarizer on there, the light will shine through it. Another thing that you could do with the backlighting is, if you have the sun positioned behind a tree or a grouping of leaves that you're taking a photo of, you can set your aperture to be really tight, like an f11, f12, f16, and that way you can actually generate a sun star coming through the leaves as well. Helps to give you more into your photo to work with. So the last tip I'm going to give you, tip number 5, is going to be a relatively simple one as well. Something I've talked about before, something that I've covered a little bit in the past. Get out of town. Just go for a ride. Go find somewhere that you haven't been before, or maybe somewhere that might not be as popular, somewhere that you could go find the foliage, go find some more color, or go find something different to take photos of. Especially if it's going to be a place that's not as popular, you could use that to your advantage, because the scenes are going to be a lot more pristine. You're not going to have leaves that are going to be trampled all over by everybody's feet. Going to find somewhere new, going to find somewhere that's not as popular can help you find something that might be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more unique and different that other people might not have seen. Plus, you get out, go on a little bit of an adventure, have some fun, take some fall foliage photos while you're at it. So fall is definitely one of the more popular times of the year to take photos because of all the colors and everything that you can see and all the diversity in the different forests that you can see. Fall definitely has probably one of the top 5 types of photos that landscape photos that you'll ever see throughout the year. I do have a couple of resources here that you can check out in order to get foliage reports. And this is over and above any local foliage reports that you can get. Like in New York, we get the New York DEC does a weekly fall foliage report with a map on Instagram and what have you. But these are over and above that. So americaforest.org, leafpeepers.com, and foliagenetwork.com, all sites that I've been to in the past to get information from. So make sure to check those out as well. I'll leave links to them in the description below. So thank you very much for coming in and watching this video. I really do appreciate everybody coming to my channel. If you can give me a like on this video, that would be great. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get out, take some great photos. Like I said, I really do appreciate everybody coming along. And thank you very much, and I'll see you again next week.